Greetings guys. In this video I'm gonna be sharing about trend trading. So I won't be sharing much because I once made a video about trend trading before, but I will link it on the description. So when it comes to trend trading, there are two very important aspects. The first one, it is how you approach it. A lot of people, they approach it by drawing a trend line. So they spot at the highs and the lows of the market, then they will draw the trend line. So that's the approach. Other people, they will be using something like moving averages if they are not good in spotting the market highs and lows with their own eyes. And then the second important thing about trend trading, it is not just approaching or analyzing the market. It is actually the way you are going to execute your trades. It is the way you're going to be anticipating and taking those trades. So the very important thing that I usually consider when it comes to using trend trading, it is actually understanding how those structures are being formed, how those waves are being formed. But I'm gonna get into details about that. So the first thing, when it comes to drawing your trend lines, when it comes to putting your trend line, the very controversial issue, it is either you draw them on the wicks or you draw them on the bodies of the candles. For an example, you can see right here that it was drawn right on top of the candle tail or the wick, but then here the line is piercing through the candlestick body. So that's the usual controversy in new traders. So what I can say is that it doesn't matter where the trend line is moving. It doesn't matter if it is touching the end or it is piercing through the bodies of the candles. So what matters is being able to identify how the market is moving in that particular downward direction. That's the purpose of trend line. How is the market moving? What is the pattern of that downward flow of the market? That's the purpose of the trend line. And another thing that usually traders don't get right, it is the fact that trends will always be shifting. Trends will always be changing as the market moves or as the market continues. For an example, here we can see that the market was a bit strong, moving maybe from that high going all the way down. We can see that here the market was a bit strong, the sellers were a bit strong, and here then it changed and became a slower market. So that's one thing that you should be expecting as a trader, meaning when you draw your trend line, for an example, when you stretch your trend line, when you extend it, you should be ready for the market to not bounce in your trend line, or for the market to shift from what it was doing before. In that way, then it will be easy for you as a trader to understand when and where to take decision. So one other thing that I want to emphasize, it is making sure that you don't just pay attention on how the market bounces or reacts on your trend line, but make sure that you pay attention on those waves that make the trend line. For an example, the correctives and the impulsive waves of the market. Then in that way, you're going to understand when and where to enter, because what price action is actually, it is observing how price behave. It is observing how the candles behave, how the structures are being formed, how the highs and lows are being formed. So once you understand that, for an example, let me just push up this line here. For an example, you can see here that the price moved in a smaller impulsive wave, and then it corrected, and the correction it started aggressive and then began to slow down. The market didn't reverse yet. It started slowing down even more. All of a sudden here, then the market started reversing. So you see that the market didn't just start reversing all of a sudden. Same thing applies here, just a small impulsive, and then it corrected, and all of a sudden it slowed down here, and then it began its aggressive move all the way going down. So you see that it didn't just move all the way down just all of a sudden, but there was a slowdown, there was some period, and there were these small candles which resemble indecision. Same thing applies here. Price is corrected and then it slowed down. So what you should pay attention into as a trend trader, it is always paying attention to the transition or where the market slow down, because when the market slow down, it means that it is either taking a break or it is going to actually change direction. So that's what you should be focusing into as a trader. And when it comes to entering your trades, you don't want to enter your trades immediately when that line is being touched. You don't want to just execute your trade immediately when the price bounce on that particular line. For an example, let's say we have our line here. You don't want to just react here when the price touches the line, but what you are looking for, it is to make sure that you see other confirmation. It is to make sure that you see the structures. What I always say is that make sure that you observe how the price formed the correction. For example, it formed it in this manner of a structure. So then you'll be observing this structure, and after this structure is being broken here, then you are going to be executing your trade. So same thing applies even if it happens that price reacts without touching your trend line. For an example here, we can see that price moved down and then up and then it collapsed. So let's say you don't want to miss this kind of entry. What you should be focusing into, it is the waves. Before you can focus into your line, focus on how the price is behaving. So you will focus into these waves. You can see that a series of green candles, they started to be slowing down here, and all of a sudden there was red candles coming in, and there was this reversal candle here. So this upward flow was broken here. So after this upward flow is broken, then that's when it is better for you to actually make a decision, not that you're waiting for price to touch the line. So you don't have to be using the line as your only way of entering your trade. So make sure that you focus on how the waves are being formed, on how the price is forming the structures. So that's it for this video. It is just a few tips on how to approach trend lines. And remember to make sure that you watch my trend trading course, which I posted for free here on YouTube. So I'm probably gonna link it on the description, and you can check also the cards on the top corner. So thank you for watching this video.